But anyone who doesn't call out this blatant corruption is complicit in letting Trump get away with this.
25% of the country will, no matter what this guy does, stick with him no matter what.
In fact, Quinnipiac, I believe that is an all-time low for him. And the CNN poll, as you were mentioning, Kate, that is tied for an all-time low for him. So is there a bottom? It does not appear to be, to me, that there is a bottom for President Trump.
This is also one that I want you guys to see. If you live in a blue state, then unfortunately for you, Donald Trump doesn't give a flying fuck about you, especially if you're in a blue state that voted for Donald Trump. If you voted for Donald Trump, he doesn't give a flying fuck. Because he's not here for the American people. He's only here for people that like him. And if you don't like him, then he doesn't want you. He's not going to do anything for you, including this.
Has been stealing money from blue states, and his own lawyers admitted it in court. You heard that right. Last October, Russ Vought announced that nearly $8 billion in funding for clean energy projects were being terminated, but only in blue states. Energy Secretary Chris Wright swore up and down that the decision to terminate projects in these states had nothing to do with politics.
We evaluated 2,271 projects, and politics and voting history played no role in any of the 2,271 decisions we made.
But now his lawyers are saying, yes, in fact, politics was the only consideration.
Now, he just sat there in Congress, right? Perjured himself. Said that he did not, it played no role, but they have it now that it actually was, because it was a blue state.
This is complete political corruption. Every American should be outraged. This isn't Trump's money. This is taxpayer money. It's your money. Trump is punishing every hardworking family in Washington state who are struggling with rising costs no matter who they voted for. I am glad the courts have already ruled against the terminations, but anyone who doesn't call out this blatant corruption is complicit in letting Trump get away with this.
Now, of course, I'm going to be here to call it out, and as you can see, we're only 90 minutes into the show, right? We only have a little bit to go here, but how much of the show has been Trump's corruption? Like, it just seems to be endless, doesn't it? Every time we turn around, there's more corruption to report on. Every time we turn around. The MAGA dummies in the audience, they don't care about this for some reason. Isn't that weird? But I bet you anything, if it was Joe Biden or anybody else like that's a Democrat, they'd be flipping their lid. Like, they would be like, cursing up a storm right now. But when it's Donald Trump, though, and it's blatantly put in their face like that, they still don't care. You would think that these types of things would make people go, what the f*** are you talking about? Get the f*** out of here. I'm done with this guy now. 25% of the country will, no matter what this guy does, 25% of the country will, no matter what this guy does, stick with him no matter what. And he can do anything to them, and they still will back him up. I mean, I've seen like some of the worst examples that you could possibly imagine. I just did it on the air maybe 4 shows ago, I think it was, Tia, where I showed you a tweet, and the guy was asked, if Donald Trump raped your 8-year-old daughter, would you still support him? He goes through the whole thing, brings up God, Jesus, how would you be forgiving? But yes, I would still support him. That's what he said. I can show it to you in the next show. I'll do it in the next show because we've got a few more things to get to here. It's the truth. He can do anything, and they will still back him up, even if he raped their 8-year-old daughter. That's the type of people that we're dealing with, ladies and gentlemen. So, just keep that in mind when I show you all these things and you're arguing with them. That's why I don't bother arguing with them. And some people ask me, why won't you debate? I don't debate MAGA ever. You see people like Isaiah Martin and others that are doing that all the time, right? Parker, great channel that he has. He's always debating these people. One of the things that you cannot do is debate MAGA. If you ever listen to any of these people, just listen to what it is that they have to say. They literally make shit up. How are you supposed to debate somebody that just makes shit up off the top of their head? How are you supposed to debate that? You got to spend half the time or most of the time like swatting down the lies that they said. That's not even true. What are you talking about? That's not even close to true. None of that happened. What are you saying that for? All that shit has to come out of your mouth while you're trying to bring up the points that are factual. But that's the thing about MAGA. They hate those things with a passion. Facts, number one enemy. And you need facts during a debate. They bring none of them. They only bring lies, and that's why you won't ever catch me dead platforming them, ever. But let's continue here. The national price of gas is $4.10, and diesel is $5.36. Your illegal, senseless war on Iran is crushing the very people that voted to end foreign wars. And I'm going to show you this because this is something that MAGA doesn't understand very much either, but I'm going to show you this. Now, while I'm telling you about the $4.10, the $5.36 and everything, but Donald Trump is touting this right here, right? What is he saying here? Because of President Donald J. Trump, oil exports are surging. First of all, let me just be clear about this. That is not because of Donald Trump. That's because of Joe Biden. Joe Biden's Inflation Reduction Act was the reason why fracking and permits were allowed to be able to extract more oil out of our country for the first time ever in our entire history. So much so that because of that act, the United States became the world leader in oil production. That's a fact. Number one enemy. Remember, they don't like those things, right? So during this time, while Joe Biden is in office, not only did we take over as the world's leading producer of oil, we also surpassed everybody in the entire world's history. We had more oil coming out of our country than ever before in the entire world's history. And I'm talking about every country. Nobody was putting out more oil than we were. The problem is our oil is a very different type of oil than what we refine for our gasoline. 20% of our refineries, and only 20% of our refineries, can refine our oil so that it can be used as gasoline. You understand that now? 80% of our refineries use the other side of the world and other countries' oil because it's a different sour type of oil that we use for gasoline. Our refineries are not built or capable of refining our oil. Only 20% of them can. So that is not enough to be able to take away from what's going on in the oil markets around the world. That's why when oil prices go up, our gas goes up. No matter how much oil is coming out of our country, we don't have enough capacity to refine what we need in terms of gasoline. That's why our gas prices go up also. But you see here, Donald Trump is touting the fact that we have so much exports going on. And he does this because he knows MAGA is so dumb, they don't know what I just said. So yes, we do have a historic amount of oil because of, again, Joe Biden, not because of Donald Trump. This all started with Joe Biden, and our exports have gone up exponentially, right? Exponentially. You could see that it started down here in 2014, 2013, and it started going up. You could see that it started going up really high during the Biden administration. And we've gone up some more even since. But that had nothing to do with Donald Trump. We didn't have any of this oil being produced in our country the same way that it is now because of Joe Biden. But he knows that if he puts this out there, MAGA buys into it. It doesn't matter, though, because, yes, that's helping us in the trade markets. It's helping us as a country so that we have more trade and more opportunity to make money as a country, but it's not helping our gas pumps at all. Unfortunately, that's the truth. Number two enemy for MAGA. They don't like that either.
Last question for you. If Democrats do take over the House, it's just going to be investigation mania. You know, they're going to do oversight. They can impeach you again. I mean, do you think they will?
Well, a lot of people are saying I'm one of the greatest presidents ever.
They're not saying that, though.
But they know, they see the results. Look,
most people see the results. It's not, there's only one group of people, like I said, the 25% of the country that no matter what this guy does, they're going to be with him. He has literally ripped our country to shreds right now. Our country's at its worst point that it's ever been in every aspect, militarily, economically, population, freedom, rights, everything is just like going to hell in a handbasket when it comes to this guy. And our country is suffering because of him. Most people know that. MAGA doesn't. He says that there's people that are saying that he's the greatest president that's ever lived. I have a guy that's in my comments all the time. He's a 73-year-old guy. Every time I post something, he posts the same thing. Best president of my lifetime, 73 years old. No matter what I post, it doesn't matter what. I could shoot. I could post a video of Donald Trump shooting someone in the head, just like he says in that video, and they wouldn't care. He would say in the comments, "Best president of my lifetime, 73 years old." It does not matter what this guy does at all. And so, but he knows that that's going to happen. That's why he says those types of things, because he knows that they're going to believe it. This is Harry Enton from CNN talking about polls and what the Republicans are facing in the upcoming election, and it's not good. Listen.
Trump is heading towards an electoral black hole. I feel like this is like one of those magician's tricks, right? Where the floor just falls out beneath you. And that is exactly what is happening with President Trump. Kate off on the side laughing. Trump's approval hits record term 2 lows all out this week. You mentioned the CNN poll, 34%. You think that's all? How about AP North, 33%? You think that's all? How about Quinnipiac University, 32%? So you look at it and you get 3 different pollsters all saying that Trump is hitting term confirmed two lows this week. In fact, Quinnipiac, I believe that is an all-time low for him. In the CNN poll, as you were mentioning, Kate, that is tied for an all-time low for him. So is there a bottom? It does not appear to be, to me, that there is a bottom for President Trump.
The reason why I wanted to bring this up is because when you see CNN, the Associated Press, and Quinnipiac, you could see it says here 34, 33, and 32. Let me just say this. His approval rating is at 30 or below. Those are what those have come up with. Quinnipiac is at the lowest at 32. Quinnipiac at 32% is the lowest one, but I'm telling you, it's under 30%. But the reason why I wanted to show it to you is because the MAGA watching me right now, Donald Trump and Fox Lies tell them that his approval rating is at historic highs. And so they're looking at this right now, like this dummy right here, as Isaiah Turner says, liberals, like this, because what I'm saying, I guess, is a lie to this dummy right here, right? Isn't that what he thinks? He does not know that what I just showed him is in number one enemy fact. He doesn't know that this is happening. And so when I show this to him, he doesn't like it. That's the reason why I show it. So that these people that watch me, that don't watch other news outlets, and maybe they're watching, other idiots like Benihana tell them all the fake lies and everything that they hear, and they watch Fox News all the time. And so they're not getting actual news. They're not getting actual truth and fact presented to them. And then when I do it, they get upset. I don't care. Okay? I'm not here for you. I'm not here to try to change a MAGA man into somebody that's thinking sensibly anymore. I have no desire to do that whatsoever. What I'm here to is to expose you, what you believe in, and what this administration and this Republican Party is doing in actuality, in fact, so that everybody else has a better understanding. I don't care what you have to say, what you think. You're not going to be changed. Nothing can change your mind. I can show you the worst of the worst when it comes to Donald Trump, and you still will back him up. So believe me when I tell you, I don't care what you have to say.